Hello, everybody. Happy Monday afternoon. Preparing for Bachelor in Paradise tonight. Couple videos to show you guys. My name is Dave Neal, stand-up comic, host of Bachelor in Paradise, a guy's review. You can follow me on Instagram at tneals. Like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. So we're talking about Thomas here, and of course, this is Thomas in Bachelor in Paradise with Serena from Canada. Serena decided to not pursue a relationship with Thomas. So as far as we know now, he's single, but Becca Kufrin is arriving today to Bachelor in Paradise. Rumors are that they may still be together. Of course, none of this is substantiated, just rumors. You know, he's got, the same shrub in the background of his video as she does. Why wasn't he at Men's Tell All? A lot of clues, a lot of things to sort of analyze here. And of course, Thomas being the guy that everybody on Katie Thurston's season decided to hate on. I personally think he's not a bad guy. I think he's about to get a spin to his edit and be seen as a better guy. Of course, when he entered Bachelor in Paradise, everyone that knew him said, oh my gosh, you're not going to like this guy. And then Kenny and Noah, emotionally intelligent Noah there, he read the book from Bennett, were like, you know what? Appreciate what you said. We'll give him a fair shot. So hopefully the rest of the show gives him a fair shot. Let's play this clip. It's called Thomas Shares Details About His Upbringing and Mental Health Journey on Talking It Out. All right, here we go.
Touch on that as well. I want to go back a bit. Two things. One, when I had mentioned you give me vibes of like Mamba mentality, right? It all makes sense. Your mom is a badass. 4 children, CEO. Your father, thank you for his service, a colonel in the army. Your grandfather, you're the youngest boy. I can see where you get that competitive edge from. But you had mentioned something that struck me. You said you had to grow up early. You had 2 parents in a household. They both make money. You had older siblings. Why do you feel that you had to grow up early?
Right when my dad started going on more deployments, one of my big passion projects is anything with mental health. I've personally gone through bouts of depression. I've had to fight my own demons, but most importantly, my oldest brother, who's one of my biggest role models, he's bipolar schizophrenic. Mm-hmm. And when he was going through a lot of his own self-growth battles, that was right when my dad was gone. When my dad came back, he had bad PTSD. Mm-hmm. And living in a household where, when we did have our entire family together, there's so much going on. And with 4 kids and understanding that people need to be pouring into my oldest brother, Kyle, people need to be supporting my dad, and everyone's somewhat on edge trying to see what's going on, I somewhat realized that my best role in that was to almost take a step back and just try to lessen the burden for anyone around me. So what I mean by that, since 4th grade, it's all right, no, I'm good. I'm gonna ride my bike. I'll get to school. I'll get to my practices. I'll get to games. I'll figure stuff out. Oh, mom's gonna be home late from work today. I'm gonna make dinner for the family. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna step, I see this is going on. Let me go see how I can be of service to the people who I'm closest with.
Yeah, it sounds like more so than stepping back, you stepped up. I mean, like you said, you grew up in that moment. You had to take charge.
Well, in hindsight, as an adult now, I realize more often than not, for someone to be able to step up, they need to actually step back to assess what's going on.
Well said.
Because what happened with me in New Mexico, and I think one of the reasons that a lot of the animosity ended up spurring over to Paradise, was I tried to fully step up before really understanding the landscape of what the situation was in New Mexico. I was in my own head, and I was so worked up to try to be like, all right, well, this is my journey. I did not account for, wait, there's 31 other people here on this journey going through that same exact thing. So what I probably most reckless of is coming in with a direct, just, this is my journey more so than this is a collective shared experience that's going to end with a lot of people trying to find love, whether that's with the Bachelorette, with themselves. You need to make sure that you cherish those just as much as you cherish anything else.
And Thomas,
very well said, man.
Thomas, what did your family think about you going on the show, and how do they see the way you're being portrayed and whatnot? How did they feel about that?
It was tough. My mom couldn't watch the season of Bachelorette. My mom flat out, she couldn't watch it. My family couldn't watch it. I didn't watch it. It was something I don't necessarily believe in holding on to just negative components of what other people are saying. Because for me, at the end of the day, it's what someone says about somebody else says more about the person saying those things than an actual person. And one of the things that I'm grateful for in Paradise is we saw that firsthand. And the people on that beach in the collective, they listened and they acknowledged where people's viewpoints were coming from, yet they still took the time to get to know me for me. Yeah. And that was something that was one of my biggest blessings from there. My grandma, she taught me earlier on in life that if you really want to see someone's character and you really want to see what someone's made of, put them through adversity, put them through distress. And the reason why I don't have any qualms about going through the journey that I went through is you both could no one would want to be me, like going through what happened in New Mexico. You don't want to be in that position. You don't want to be the guy that people don't like. And going through all that, it's just, I feel that I stayed level-headed. I didn't call anyone out a name. I showed respect even when things were coming at me just very, very directly. And I can say that I'm proud of the way that, although it didn't end the way anyone really anticipated, I'm proud of the way that things were handled. And all I continue to do is try to share love with the guys and share on their growth journey. So,
you did the upstanding thing, right? Of someone of your stature, 6'6" would do, just stand back, be respectful, not call someone out of their name. And that's their character at that point in time.
All right, so that's the clip, folks. If you want to go check the whole video, you can go check on it, or the podcast. Talking about mental health, it's just not easy for everybody. It's not easy to take yourself out of, that's why therapy is so good for everybody, because it's not easy to take yourself out of your current position. We see ourselves as the hero of the story. We see ourselves as the guy, the girl, whoever we are, who fought adversity growing up, who fought bullies and battles and bad teachers and tough coaches and had great coaches and great mentors. We know all of that. We have that common denominator. When you meet somebody like Thomas, you see a guy who's, guess what, 6'6". Did you hear he's tall? You see somebody who looks like they have their life all together, and you don't always give that person empathy to know what their journey was all about. Once you start opening up about your journey, you find out his dad's a veteran, brother's got mental health issues, couldn't even let his mom watch the show. Or maybe his mom wanted to, and she just realized she couldn't because of how he was portrayed. And he admitted to some of his own problems that he had on the show. Problems of like looking at it like, what can I get out of this for me? Sometimes you go into something and you're fully, team me. What can I do in acquiring, whether it's the Instagram followers or the edit, the image, the next Bachelor, this and that, and looking for that prize probably takes you away from living in the moment. So maybe credit to the other guys, they kind of sniffed a little bit of that out. But at the same time, I've said this all along, I think Thomas did a really good job when he was being kind of railroaded on the show, when everyone was saying, oh, he's here for the wrong reasons. I thought he did a really good job of keeping his cool. Because the last thing that you want to have happen, like when you're getting trolled online, is to show any anger, because then the other person wins. And then anger is just masking whatever other issues you may have. Now, with the whole situation that happened with Katie, of course, as you guys remember, Katie called him up at the rose ceremony, and when you're called up, you give someone a rose. But instead, she took the rose back, and she was like, get out. And a lot of people were upset with that, and we'll never know what actually went down. To empathize with someone like Katie, which of course you guys know, I have no shortage of empathy there. I see someone who doesn't know who to trust, thinks she's got all these guys telling her the right thing, and this guy's really has these sinister motivations. When we find out, he's battling whatever battles he's, some people, and this is good for all of us, maybe we'll just wrap it up here. Some people don't wear it on their face when they're struggling. And whether it's with mental health or having a bad day or just trying to make a spot for yourself in this world, men and women and all genders, we all face different sorts of adversity. Of course, there's plenty of adversity that women face. It's not a gender issue, who faces more. But as a guy, you can relate to having the weight of the world on your shoulders to provide for his family, to start his own family, to grow wealth and be able to be a breadwinner and all these things. And while we want to live in an ideal world where you don't have those pressures on your shoulder, that's not how it works. A lot of times we just take it all upon us, and we always say that perfection is the enemy of good. Sometimes you're trying to be perfect, and You can imagine what that must feel like to be the guy that everybody decides they don't like. Nobody, trust me, nobody likes to be mischaracterized. I've only gotten a tiny morsel of that feeling this year, where I feel like I've been mischaracterized on certain things, and it feels rough. I'm talking a percentage point compared to what someone who's labeled the villain must feel. I have to remind myself, someone like Victoria Larson, probably trying the best, probably uses anger and defensiveness and all these other coping mechanisms to mask their own things, but still, nevertheless, it's really hard to have compassion for somebody who comes off so brutally hurtful. And I don't even think Thomas did that, but I think Victoria came off very poorly. And I think anyone who's like, I got friends back home that, I mean, there's really nothing on paper that can tell you why I should stick up for them, but they always have my back, and I know they mean well because I know where they come from. I know the tragedies they've felt. I know all the little things, below the surface of the iceberg. I know all those things. When you're close friends with someone, you can like someone that might be a vile human to others because you root for them and they're complicated. And with Thomas, today might be the change of the guard for him, where I don't know if this episode's today or whenever, but if Becca comes in and sees a side of him that is not what the other guy saw, not what Katie Thurston sees, there's plenty of room for growth there. We don't live in a world now you guys always laugh when I say that, but we don't live in this world where there's just absolute good and absolute evil. There's plenty of times where like you have a conversation with someone, it doesn't go well, and they might think you're the asshole for the rest of their lives. And you are the asshole in their story, but that's not who you are. So if anyone's ever made any mistakes out there, or you're growing and learning from where you used to be and where you're moving to, just know that, every situation is a chance to show your authentic self, show that grace. Give someone the benefit of the doubt that they're trying the best. Rachel Kirkconnell's actually going to be on a podcast coming out. It's actually an Instagram live that's about to happen at 2 p.m. It's 2:02, so it's just starting. So I'm going to have to go check that out. But that's going to be another conversation of someone who, immediately started as the villain and then has had to try to work her way back up. I will be reporting on that, and we'll see what she has to say there. But as far as Thomas goes and the conversation around mental health, I think he said a lot of great things. And let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment. We'll have live stream at 4 p.m. today, 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. today. Lots of content. No live streams tomorrow on Tuesday. I've got a show, so I won't be able to make it. But we'll have lots of recaps and content for you guys. So make sure to subscribe, comment, and like this video. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Take care. Bye now.